Hello, and welcome back to Start Adventuring, a channel dedicated to empowering new role players to break down their barriers and just start adventuring. I'm Ben.
And I'm Baxter. And this week, we'll be tackling the 6th chapter of the Candlekeep Mysteries, The Price of Beauty. It was a very interesting and very event-heavy chapter. I'm excited. If you guys haven't already checked out our Session 0, go over there and do so. As I mentioned in there, I had kind of done a lot of editing on this one to kind of streamline it and help it appeal to our unique character here. So this is very much a home-brewed version, but I am very excited to run it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and we've been adapting all of these adventures to fit our one-on-one kind of experiment. And before we get into the adventure, if you're following along with our Candlekeep Mysteries one-on-one shots campaign, and you're learning the one-on-one D&D secrets with us here, go ahead and like this video and please subscribe to the channel. It does do a lot to help us grow here on YouTube, and we'd love to have you be a part of the community.
Well then, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the 6th chapter of the Candlekeep Mysteries, The Price of Beauty.
Let's do it.
So, Healbot 2 RZ5 is approaching Candlekeep. What does he have a book to come? Does he know why he's coming to Candlekeep?
Well, he's coming to Candlekeep because it's a place of great knowledge, and he wants to check out more manuscripts on resurrection and topics like that. He, in Baldur's Gate, before he came, purchased a tome. He did some perusing. He's done a lot of reading. Like I said, his background is sage. He's a researcher by nature, so he's done a lot of reading, and he was able to, I hope, he was able to pick out a somewhat more interesting medical manuscript that he hopes they don't have at Candlekeep in a rare books collection in Baldur's Gate.
Okay. And what is the title of it? Does it have a title on it?
I didn't think of this, so I'm gonna make it up. The Anatomy of the Hominid.
The Anatomy of the Hominid. Okay. So as you get up, there is 2 lines kind of perched, both about the same, length. Healbot RZ kind of looks at both the lines. Do you have a preference? They look like they're pretty much identical, right or left?
RZ tends to go left, so RZ's gonna go left.
Right on. So just, as quick as quick can be, into the left line.
As quick as he can go.
Yeah, as quick as the
He's
robot
kind of clunky.
You in the right lane, you hear one of the person that just has stepped up to the gate is passing a book and speaking kind of softly and quietly, but something about their voice kind of catches your ear. Go ahead and roll an insight check for me.
So 6 on the dice plus 3, 9.
Yeah, just something about them. It seems they seem very sweet and caring, and just something that you note as one might assessing all of the people around them as they're sitting in line. But finally, RZ kind of is, as he is logging that interaction, is stepping up to the front as it is his turn in line. It's kind of an elderly woman looks up at him with the avowed robe and just kind of extends her hand.
Yeah, and RZ kind of wordlessly, not being an overly social being, removes the book and hands it to her, knowing kind of what he's supposed to do.
And she, as she kind of looks over it, she looks back up at him and down at this. And then you kind of see her look back up at you with a little bit of a kind of a leery look.
Is there an issue? Can I help you?
And she's kind of grumbles to herself. Go ahead in.
Thank you very much. And RZ's going to kind of give a little nod and just kind of hulk off toward the entrance.
And as you kind of scuttle in to the Court of Air, you see it kind of opens up. You see some study rooms off to kind of the side, and as you kind of are just getting into the clearing, into the center of the Court of Air, you see an avowed kind of just run up right in your sight line. They stop kind of short and they look at you and say, "Wow, we've never seen something like you before. What are you?"
I am a unique construct of my creator. Of course you've never seen anything like me. I am of a singular design, he says.
What is your design?
I do not understand your question. I'm sorry. My design is my design. It is as I am and as I have been rendered.
No. What is your primary function?
Oh, I am a Healbot, which is to say that my primary function is to tend to the bodily needs of my creator and his compatriots.
Oh, well, I know just the place for you then. If you go to the Western Library, the 3rd floor, you'll be able to find all kinds of books on helping people and taking care of people.
Oh, well, how very kind of you to tell me. If you don't mind my asking, where were you running off to?
I was just heading out to leave Candlekeep, and I saw you, and I got all confused. I'm just a regular acolyte here.
It's nice to know that my being causes confusion. Ha ha, he says, with a mirthless little chuckle, trying to feign social interaction. RZ has a 0 charisma. He's not very good at interacting, but he, tries his best to get his face to look grateful.
And the acolyte kind of laughs and says, "That's why I came here. You see and learn something new every day," as he kind of walks out toward the outer gate. And RZ is free to move about the cabin. Is there anything that he wants to do? He's in Candlekeep officially.
Well, I mean, I think he thinks it's a stroke of good luck that this man came out and happened to point him in the direction of books that he thought would be of interest to him. So I guess I'm headed to that 3rd floor library. He said, remind me, he said if I go to
the
where on the
Western
3rd
Library, the 3rd floor of the Western Library.
So the Western Library is nearby to me?
Yeah, you would know that there's just a western wing of a small library kind of attached to the housing barracks with just some assorted things that are, not quite as bountiful as all that they have behind the greater, like the inner wall or whatever that is. But it's still a good amount of stuff, and especially if it's a specialty one. It may just be a good place for RZ to start at the very least.
Yeah, and RZ is looking, as we discussed in the session 0, he's really looking for information about resurrection magic. But I think the taking care of people, this is a good place to start. So I think with this lead, he's going to turn off toward the Western Library and just head over there.
Okay. So as RZ is kind of heading up, you kind of are taking in all of the, the novel sights at Candlekeep, all of the acolytes in their purple robes, as you're kind of just moseying through the motions, going towards that place that you're headed. So as you kind of walk into the library at first, it's dotted with some acolytes, and you see some stairs. You start ascending them and make your way up to that third floor. When you kind of get there, there's a sharp like left turn into what looks like the greater part of that library. When you turn that corner, yeah, you are met with like this room that has these great trees growing in it, different like herbal things, books in large bookshelves, and then at the very back of the room, kind of like this gate, this like metal gate trellis with certain books
nice.
kind of like locked onto it.
Oh, okay. Is there any signage anywhere? Like, I'd like to try to.
If you roll a investigation check for me.
Sure. I'm looking for either signs or just, trying to browse the spines of the books, scan them quickly or whatever to find something that might be, what I'm looking for here. You said investigation. It's a 6 on the dice plus 3 is 9.
Yeah, so RZ is kind of just really taken back by all the different things as he's trying to take everything in as he's kind of walking into this
his
room.
eyes are...
He actually gets startled as he turns a corner and sees that there's another young woman in here kind of reading through some of the books.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hi there. She kind of is looking over RZ. What?
I apologize for speaking in the library. I just was startled by you, and I thought I would say hello.
That's okay. As this woman kind of turns to you, she's in kind of like dark clothing, with a dark hood over her head. She does not appear to be like old or haggard or anything. In fact, by her face, she looks pretty, decently young and lively, but still kind of in these older black robes.
Mm-hmm.
And she is kind of looking and walking around you. So, are you alive?
RZ's eyes just kind of go really big as he contemplates that question. Yes, I suppose I am. I'm here talking to you. I feel I've been alive for a very long time.
Tell me, is your directive to learn how best to care for people?
Well, I suppose one element of my directive is to care for others. My primary directive is to protect my creator.
And where
Sadly, he has passed away.
And she kind of sits there flatly for a moment. But he lives in you.
I suppose that's true. It is his magic that animates me.
Interesting. Well, tell me, RZ. And she walks over to that back trellis with those books that are chained to the fenced area, like the little fencing on the wall. And she unchains one of the books and brings it over. She sets it down. It's a green book with this kind of gold filigree that's very like thin and ornate. It kind of looks like hair. And the most notable thing on it is a large mirror in the center of the face that she sets it down. This is one of my favorites. It's called The Price of Beauty.
Did you have permission to remove it from the section over there? It appeared to be locked in. What authority do you have in this library? I'm sorry. Are you a member of the Avowed?
And she kind of looks over you a little begrudgingly. Go ahead and roll an insight check.
It's another 9.
Yeah, it's, hard to tell. She's definitely not wearing purple, but, could be. No alarms went off. It's not like it seemed as though...
What is the content of the book?
It teaches you how to take care of yourself. and different exercises and skincare routines and things of that nature. Would come like, and she kind of puts it on the table in front of you. Take a look.
And RZ kind of looks at it and looks to her and says, "In all my time, I have never considered the idea of caring for myself. And he's just going to open it up. It's of interest to him. He's very curious. I open it up to the first page.
Yeah, and so as you kind of undo those metal clasps and start, like, thumbing through it, like I said, it looks just to be, skincare and workout routines and things like that. But as you're, like, going through and thumbing through it, you notice that a bright light begins to emanate from the front of it. And that woman that was in there is no longer with you.
Oh, how strange. I'm alone now in the library?
Yeah.
Interesting, okay. Did she do anything, or it was just...
Roll an Arcana check for me.
Yeah. That's gonna be, 17.
Yeah, you get the distinct feeling as you are analyzing the situation. This book just did something that transported her somewhere not here.
Interesting. Can I look back to the page that I was on the book, and I mean, can I just look at... I'd like to...
Yeah, look, as you look over the book, you flip through the pages, nothing seems to be happening. You go and you look at the cover, and as soon as you make eye contact with that mirror on the front of it, it starts flash, 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 flash. And
oh my.
As if nothing were happening, as if it was just the reality you were already in, you are now sitting in a pool of hot liquid, water specifically. You are, as you're kind of coming to, sitting in what looks like a large, like, hot spring area, and you are holding the price of beauty.
Are there other people around, or am I alone?
Nope, you are alone. But in the distance, you hear what sounds like a lot of noises and commotion. It doesn't seem like panicked commotion, more like just a lot of people. And it seems to be coming down from over a hill down the trail a little ways. And you can
so
kind
wait,
of
I'm
see
sorry,
some
I'm
lights,
outside
too.
in a hot tub?
Yeah, you're like in a hot spring, like a natural hot spring.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take the book and I guess put it into my bag, so I can hold on to it. But I think RZ's not hyper emotional, so I think this is peculiar. He's gonna be. Water doesn't affect him. It's not like he will short circuit or something. But he'll get out of the pool and just kind of think that the situation is pretty peculiar, but put the book away and start heading off in the direction of the voices. He'll maybe call out and say, Madam from the library? Are you around anywhere?
Yeah, as you're calling out, unfortunately you don't hear anything. Nobody makes themselves
How very
present.
strange.
As you begin walking forward and forward and forward, kind of winding through these fields in night, it's kind of a little spooky and eerie, kind of feeling like you see this light and hear this noise of this commotion that you're following, but it just always feels like it's so far away. But just as you're starting to kind of feel a little doubt and confused, you crest a hill, and there it is. And it's just this large bathhouse, akin to, I think, Hayao Miyazaki's Spirited Away. Just a large, well-lit extravaganza of a bathhouse.
Looking around the area, before I kind of descend the hill and head toward the bathhouse, is there anything else discernible in terms of buildings or anything as I'm looking around, or is it just like fields? Like, what do I see around me?
Go ahead and roll a investigation or a nature check for me. Either one of those. Or a perception, I guess.
I'm gonna take nature. It's an 18.
Yeah, so as you're kind of looking around, nothing really stands out except you can see kind of like directly across a couple of the fields. You can't really, it's hard to tell what exactly is going on over there, but you just see kind of like a green glinting light.
How very strange, RZ says again. One of his, I suppose, saved phrases or something. But at that point, I'm gonna head down the bathhouse because I have no idea how to get out of here or what's going on.
What even is going on? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna head in the direction of people. I think that's what RZ would do.
So as you're kind of stepping into this, you see all these different kinds of creatures and spirits, all relaxing, playing games, eating food.
When you say spirits, what do you mean? How do I know, like, what?
Oh, just what you would assume are spirits. Things that look like ghosts, things that look like just all these different kinds of things. Monsters even, all kind of just hanging out and...
Everything peaceful,
Everything peaceful, no fighting, nothing of the like kind of going on. Everyone seems pretty jovial and happy. It seems like a place of relaxation and peace. And as you're kind of coming in and passing the main bathhouse and looking around, you do see there's in sort of a centered courtyard these sort of 3 chairs surrounded by a desk. With these 3 elven women sitting in them. One with blue hair, one with blonde hair, and one with green hair. The one with blonde hair looks to be the youngest. The one with blue, the middle, and the one with green, quite a bit older. Even maybe a mother of the 2. And they're all sitting in these desks, kind of helping different individuals as they come up and are, look to be doing some kind of business or something.
Okay, cool. So as I see these folks, and as I recognize the green one as being the eldest, I'm going to approach, and in Elvish, remember I'm an Elvish sort of construct. My creator was Elvish, and I speak Elvish. I'm going to address them and just say, "Greetings. I am Healbot 2RZ5.
And as you kind of come up, all 3 of them, their heads are drawn over to you as they're kind of looking over at you.
But you can call me RZ.
And as they're kind of looking over you, they go, where did you get that book?
Oh, I'm sorry. This book was given to me outside. I was hoping maybe someone could assist me with removing it or getting me out of here. I was just given this book by someone moments ago.
You see the 3 of them kind of whispering and talking amongst themselves, and they kind of look at you kind of up and down. And they say, well, yeah, go hand us the book, and we will show you for being the one to bring it back to us safely. We will show you all the great things we do here at the bathhouse, the 3 Sisters bathhouse.
I don't think RZ is generally a suspicious person. Ben, am suspicious of, but I'm gonna say RZ is going to say, trusting these elves because he likes elves and they seem to know what's going on. They're in charge here. He's going to say, absolutely. Allow me to return it to you. It was in fact just given to me moments ago and I have no attachment to it. And I hand it to them.
Right on, yeah. So they go ahead and they grab the book from you. And and just kind of turn around and poof, it puffs away. They all kind of conversing. The eldest one turns back to you, as that's the one you were dealing with. The blue-haired one kind of walks away, presumably to deal with that book in some regard. So you're left with the one with green hair and the one with blonde hair, and she goes, "Well, thank you so much. I am Auntie Green, and this is Blondie."
Yeah, RZ is gonna just keep looking at Auntie Green and nod his head sort of as kindly as he is able to and as expressively as he's able to, and say, "It is my pleasure to meet you." Still in Elvish, by the way.
Yeah, Auntie Green extends out her like long hand and kind of shakes it, and she seems to be a pretty humble woman. She's kind of meek and kind of quiet in her demeanor, and she kind of gestures around at the bathhouse and says, "We take care of all sorts here, even the most misunderstood. Everybody needs to know to love themselves and to take care of themselves."
On my way in, I noticed several non-corporeal spirits, or that is to say, creatures without bodies. How is it that they came to be here and to be manifest in this space? It is of great interest to me.
They kind of laugh, and they looking at back and forth from one another, and they look at him and say, "That's a trade secret."
I would be interested to learn the trade and the secrets, then.
And they kind of laugh together, too. Well, first, why don't you experience all we have to offer here? If you would like, you can have a hot bath, or you can do some exercise.
I do not require
in the yard.
bathing.
Well, what do you normally do for maintenance?
He stares blankly into space and says, "I suppose I have never considered that question."
It's so important, and Blondie kind of sets for it. It's so important. Did you read The Price of Beauty? It should have told you all the things, but I mean, I guess you don't have skin, or you don't eat, so you don't know how to take care
I lack skin, hair, and nails. It is quite the difficulty to care for my skin, hair, and nails when I do not have them. And he just blinks.
They both kind of laugh, and then they look back at you. But you do have a soul.
Yes, I suppose I do. Or at least I carry within me the soul of my creator, I have considered.
Well, that's great. I mean, we...
And I must care for my creator, which means I must care, in fact, for myself.
Yes, he lives on in you. You're in charge of what happens to that soul. You have to take care of it, right?
He ponders that for a second and then gives a couple of nods and says, "I suppose that is true."
They then kind of clap their hands and say, "Well, all right, it was so nice meeting you, RZ. I'm going to set you up with a room for the evening, and come tomorrow evening, you can be back at wherever you please."
I would like to learn to care for my creator's soul inside of me, if that is something that you can teach me.
Oh, yes, over the next day, we will make sure that happens.
I would be very appreciative of that. Could you direct me then to my chamber?
Absolutely. And they kind of walk over and kind of usher you up a flight of stairs into a little chain of rooms. As you kind of shuffle in and the door closes, it's a pretty bare bones room. Just a regular slider with some racks to put clothing, or a closet, so to speak. And when you close it, you see it's a mirror there, like a full length mirror, and then just your bed.
I suppose I will go then to bed for the night. I mean, I kind of want to check out those spirit guys downstairs, but I think maybe they're going to show me that tomorrow, because based on my conversation with them, they're going to give me a tour tomorrow. Is that
Yeah,
so?
yeah, it's pretty late. It seemed like they probably were just saying, like, hey, why don't you check in for the night? I mean, you can if you want to go down and see what's going on down there. You're more than welcome. But what they had said was
Yeah, I think I'm going to wait for somebody to show me around. RZ is not, again, not a super social being,
Right.
and I don't think he's going to volunteer to poke around where there might be, other sentient creatures involved, especially not if somebody's going to show him around tomorrow. I think he just concludes that it makes more sense to wait, and he does sleep. He puts himself into sleep mode or whatever. He is required to rest, so he does his usual shutdown.
And as he shuts down and reboots on whatever timer he is supposed to be rebooting in, as he is kind of, powers coming back on to the CPU in his head, he starts to kind of blink, and in that mirror, he sees the reflection of his creator, looking very alarmed at him.
He starts to touch him, like he touches, face and stuff to see if the features line up, and like look at his hands. But he has not become his creator, right?
No, as you're doing this, yeah, you see that the creator is mimicking your movements, but as you're checking this, the creator says, "You have to get out of here," and then it vanishes, and you have no reflection.
No reflection?
Yeah, and as you blink, stepping back, you now see your reflection again as RZ.
I need to leave, he says out loud to himself and turns to start to leave.
Okay, so
I have a direct order from my creator to leave.
And your creator's dead.
Oh, sorry. Are the creepy sisters outside the room?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going up to them and saying, "I have a direct order from my creator to leave."
Oh, no. He was just saying that kind of to himself as he goes out. But
so,
I guess I need them to tell me how to get out, right? So I gotta play this cool. So RZ knows he needs to go, but he's gotta play it at least as cool as he is able to.
So as you're coming down this morning, you see a large continental breakfast set up, with a bunch of a mismatch of characters kind of walking through the line and getting food, as well as some service guests cleaning around the bathhouse, scrubbing out large baths and cleaning the floors and walls. And you see Goldie is standing there. "Oh, our special guest! Come on, RZ, let's give you the tour. You've already seen all the bathhouse, and have you seen the hot springs?"
I believe I have. When I arrived, I was in a hot spring, so I think perhaps I have. Are the hot springs here on the premises or
yes,
nearby?
They're out a little ways. If you said
I think that I have in fact been there then.
That's interesting. Well, I guess I could show you, and she kind of like looks around. Well, I'll be honest, there's just not much that we have here for someone like, someone like you.
I apologize for being someone for whom you do not have much for.
Oh, that's
I suppose
okay.
the only prudent decision would be to show me how to leave so that I can make more space for additional guests who may make use of your many wonderful luxuries here.
Oh, yeah, that is true. The only thing is, why don't I take you...
She's acting weird. Like, I think even RZ would feel a little bit like weird about. Based on, I mean, because of what my creator's spirit or whatever said to me, am I getting weird vibes from this?
Yeah, you definitely, without hesitation, you're definitely getting weird vibes. She's like, oh, sorry, I'm an anti-green kind of. Blondie? She kind of calls over to her, and Blondie goes, oh, and she curtsies to you. Excuse me.
Blondie, could you please instruct me as to how to exit this area, this dimension? Where are we, by the way? Are we in a separate
We're at the Three
space?
Sisters. You're at the Three Sisters bathhouse, Auntie Green says as she, raises her hands.
Very well, I appreciate it. When you have the opportunity, I would like to be instructed as to how I may leave.
Well, it's not often people leave here once they come.
Well, then it is fortunate that I am not a person.
Well, and she kind of claps, and a mirror pops up next to her, facing you, showing your creator. You do have your creator's soul.
RZ does not like this. If he could get goosebumps, he would. He does not like this.
We'll make a simple deal with you. Trade us his soul, and he will stay here forever, reborn. Or, well, and she kind of looks down at the ground. Or we'll have to take a different approach.
RZ contemplates that for a second. I'm not getting good. Do the people here, they seem happy, but it doesn't. I mean, I, Ben, am getting a weird feeling about that suggestion, but I feel like RZ would react to them saying he would be reborn. So I guess he'll say to her, "In what manner would my creator be reborn?"
He would be reborn here, spending all of his days in luxury, relaxing, talking about all of his wonderful adventures. You could even come visit him.
If my creator was reborn here, would he no longer live inside of me?
No, he would be here.
Well, in that case, I cannot part with him.
We were afraid you'd say that.
You should be more afraid to threaten me.
And as you say that, you feel like this sense of, arcane magic kind of shifting around you. As this kind of elegant bathhouse begins to crumble and deteriorate into this old, broken, decrepit bathhouse, these monsters that were kind of peacefully in a line for food are now skittering rampantly over trays of disgusting, rancid food.
Okay.
Auntie Green begins to grow, her chin and nose distending as they reveal themselves as hags.
Interesting. Hags aren't undead, right? They're something else.
No.
Would I know? Would RZ know that they
are? I mean, I don't know what kind of extensive knowledge he has compiled or whatever, but he would know essentially that they are not undead, but they are magically inclined and kind of close. They're definitely a little bit of a monstrosity or a evil kind of nature.
Right. Okay. RZ is going to say to them, so all three of them are hags. Do they seem really tough?
So right now it's
sizing
just the two of them. Right now it's just Auntie Green and Blondie. The one
Okay.
with blue hair, who you have not technically gotten the name of, walked away before you guys even had your initial conversation, and she is still not anywhere to be seen.
I'm going to say to Auntie Green, I do not know that I can separate myself from the soul of my creator anyway. You may be asking for something fruitless. This does not need to come to a confrontation.
Don't worry, darling. We can do it, she says as she kind of extends her 3 fingers, and you see like a magical glow coming out of them. And you actually feel like somewhere inside of you this kind of pull of something.
I don't like that one bit, so I don't have
you
any
actually
idea
feel
how to get out of here, right?
You feel it pulling. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, or either a con or wisdom. I'll let you do.
I'll take wisdom. 16.
Yeah, so you feel it pulling out, but you're able to keep it inside of yourself. So let's put a pause on it really quick. What is RZ feeling? Is he...
Not good. I don't know if he's afraid, because I don't think he feels emotions the same way exactly, but he is calculating low odds of ease for the next period of time for him, and also a probability of danger.
So what would be, looking at what you're looking at, you're facing currently these 2 hags, a whole bunch of these monster things feasting on the ground below. The building has become decrepit. As you're kind of standing there, you can look and see there is a clear shot to the entryway that you came in at.
Now, is there another, aside from where I went to the rooms, is there an office or something that I've seen or saw coming in? Did I see, was there any indication as to where the hag's chambers are?
It's not immediately, you couldn't tell completely. There wasn't there was extra homes or another housing unit or something that you saw as you walked up. The only thing that you had noted as you came up was that glint of green across the way.
Right, I remember that. Here's what I would like to do. I am going to cast Hold Person at 3rd level on both hags.
Okay, so they have to do what kind of saving throw?
They have a Wisdom saving throw DC 14, and if they fail, they're paralyzed for the duration, and then every turn they can repeat the saving throw.
Okay, they both fail.
Great. So I cast Hold. So RZ's eyes kind of glow. They start out blue, which is the color that they normally are, but then they turn this greenish gray color, and magic comes, his arm almost open, at the joints, sort of opens up a little bit, and this green magical energy comes out and wraps around the hags and holds them in place, and I'm just beelining for the door. I'm trying to just get out.
Okay, make an athletics check for me.
That's gonna be 20.
Okay, so yes, as you're running, doing little assessments, you don't see anybody. As you're just getting to that door, Blondie steps in front of you. Where do you think you're going? But as she does this with the nat 20, you're able to actually just...
It wasn't a nat 20. It was a 19 plus 1.
Oh, okay. Then in that case, if you can try to go around her, but you'll need to do a dexterity save to see if you can bit bop by her.
Uh, actually, what I'm going to do is as she comes out, my arm, which has still got this like necrotic magic, I'm just gonna pop her and do and do inflict wounds at 3rd level.
Roll initiative.
So I rolled a nat 1 on initiative, and I have a -1, so I guess I have 0.
Oh, you rolled real low. Okay, so Blondie is gonna go first. She is going to point at you. And does 17 hit?
It does.
Okay. She is going to cast an Eldritch Blast. 10 damage.
Okay. I can handle that. Okay. So, yeah, I take the Eldritch Blast, but I'm still, I'm still concentrating on hold person, so I don't know if they need to repeat their saves in the other room or what.
Well, since you took damage, don't you have to roll for the con save?
Yes, you're right. Okay, sorry.
The concentration.
I rolled 17, so I should be fine.
But it's their turn now, anti-green.
And that's a DC 14 wisdom save.
And she breaks out of it.
Cool.
But that's the end of her turn, correct?
Yes.
Okay, then now it is your turn, Healbot.
Okay, I'm going to pop the blue-haired lady in front of me with
Blondie. Blue hair has not entered the fray.
Oh, Blondie is the one who stepped... I thought Blondie was held.
She broke out of it. When you were running, they both got a chance to break out, and she broke out of it.
Got it. Okay. Then I'm gonna hit Blondie with a inflict wounds at 3rd level. Does a 15 hit Blondie?
Yes.
16 damage plus 8 is 22 plus 3, 25 damage.
Nice. Okay. That definitely looks like she got hit kind of hard.
The necrotic energy just kind of wraps as I hit her with my open palm. The necrotic energy just kind of like slashes at her and inflicts wounds on her.
And as you kind of hit her, it kind of arcs up across her face, and it actually hits into the roof. And you, for the first time, are realizing as you look up that the roof is all made of glass. Like that. Well, the ceiling is like glass panel, and shards of it begin to fall. And in fact, a pretty large one falls right between the two of you. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
My dex is not good. But I rolled an 18, -1 is 17. I think hopefully that's okay.
You totally are able to dodge. And in fact, as you dodge out of the way, you look into it and you see your creator. He's looking at you sternly in the face and says, "Go! Leave here!"
Cool. Good. In that case, well, it's not my turn at the moment. Okay. Is it my turn again, or?
No, sorry, you're right. I apologize. It is my turn, or more specifically, Blondie's turn. So excuse me. No, you're right. No, it is Blondie. It's because she had to break free of the thing. She is going to point her finger out and try and shoot you with another golden eldritch blast. But unfortunately for her, it misses as it kind of skitters into a falling piece of glass.
Ha ha ha, I say mirthlessly.
And as you're laughing, you feel a smack in the face as anti-green plummets through the glass with a fist that is lit up green as she cackles. This deals 12 damage to you.
Good. Good. We love it. Okay. Okay.
That is your turn.
So, I am going to... Well, I need to get out of here. Right. I'm just going to take the disengage action, I guess, and try to run away. But, I mean, they can just chase me. That's not going to work. I'm going to, I guess, cast another third level hold person on the two of them.
Okay. It's a what DC?
14 wisdom.
Oh, they both fail again. Okay.
Okay.
So they're held. So you have another
seeing
chance
them paralyzed, I'm going to use my movement to start leaving still again.
Okay. Go ahead.
And I'm not turning back. I mean, I know that I'm concentrating on the spell. I've got the green energy controlling them. I'm just trying to get out of there as fast as I can.
Okay, and where are you going?
Out, and I guess toward that green glint or whatever, some ways away.
Okay. So go ahead and make an athletics check for me.
It's a 3.
So as you're running, you kind of trip and fall, and I need you to make a check to make sure you can keep that concentration while you're running.
That's a nat 1.
So unfortunately, as you kind of trip and fall, and your holding energy kind of shorts. As you're kind of startled by this, you get to make one more athletics check to see if you can just run up out of there after
19.
Yeah, so as you're doing this, you're just heat of the moment, charge out towards where you saw that glint of light. Looking back, you don't see the hags following you, and as you're kind of getting further out and further out, kind of you can see almost like a mirage. The bathhouse begins to turn back into the kind of lively, fun bathhouse that you arrived at, that you saw when you arrived.
Very strange. Okay. I'm not going back.
So you're kind of now hiking through these little fields and things. Go ahead and roll either a survival or a history check to see if you can navigate the wilderness to where you believe you saw this thing, or if you can just remember where you saw it and thus get there just by determination.
That's a 14 history.
Yeah, so you remember as you're kind of hiking up, and as you're like getting up, you're noticing it's almost like not runic, but like ruined like structures that have like moss and ivy growing out of them. You see there's actually kind of some natural hot springs dotting this area too. And as you are looking up, you can see kind of two little steeps up. There's like a pedestal with something that's large and glowing green.
Interesting. Okay, looking at this, I mean, I'm going to walk up to it, but do I have any idea what the nature of this glowing thing is?
You can't really see it. To get up there, you would have to try to, like, climb up. There's a pretty easy way. It wouldn't be the hardest DC, but you would have to make another athletics check.
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll climb up there. It's a 19.
Yeah, so RZ is able to just kind of, muscle his way up there.
No sign of the hags as I'm climbing up?
No, you can't. Yeah, go ahead and roll a perception check, just to see what you feel. But
11.
Yeah, no, they don't seem to have been following you. You don't see or sense their presence anywhere. Probably for the better. They definitely felt like powerful foes.
Cool. Okay, well,
but nevertheless, you are here now, and as you get up to this, sitting on this pedestal, is this book, The Price of Beauty. Except, as you kind of get close, you notice that it's being like here it's being like held down, and there's actually like this shrine that it's sitting on. There's actually like a thick black rock that sits between it and the pedestal, and it's kind of like chained down to this big black rock.
Interesting. Okay, does it seem dangerous as I'm approaching it? Is there any like energy radiating off of it?
Roll an Arcana check for me.
That's gonna be a 14.
It doesn't feel like it's radiating energy. In fact, if anything, it feels like it's absorbing it.
Can I kind of crane my neck or position myself in such a way? RZ's pretty tall, if it helps. Can I look at the mirror on the front of the book?
Yeah, totally. And as you look into the mirror on the front of this book, you first see yourself, and then it kind of, and it's the creator, and they're like, Chapter 1, Revitalizing Skincare, blah, blah, blah. Just kind of reciting passages from this book.
Creator, can you hear me? Creator?
Yeah, and as you're doing this, they don't appear to be speaking to you at all. You will go ahead and roll a history check for me.
That's gonna be 14 again.
As you're looking at this and you know, you're not touching it, but looking over at it, looking at the mirror, this book seems to be, in some ways, like, you're starting to get the feeling that book that you had earlier may have been a duplicate, and this must be the real price of beauty. And as you're kind of looking over this, you get the feeling that you're being watched. Not by the hags, but by something else.
If I feel like I'm being watched, I'm gonna look around and call out, "Hello? Is anyone there? Is someone watching me? Hello?"
And out from one of the caves comes a young-looking, young relative, probably in between Goldie and the blue-haired woman you saw's age, kind of walks out of this little alcove that's cut out of these ruins. And as she walks out, you notice that she's actually chained to this area. And she kind of just looks up at you and says, "That's where they get their magic, you know. My sisters."
Interesting. Your sister's who own the establishment. Are you then the fourth sister?
No, I'm the third. My auntie banished me.
Ah, I understand now. I was confused. I apologize. Why were you banished?
Well, I wanted to treat people, help them, make them see the best in themselves, but my auntie thought, well, we could use the power of this book and lure people here to kill them, eat them, devour them.
Interesting. That is a very strange, or at least alien to me, sort of pursuit. I tend to also want to help people as you do.
Listen. The only way out is to give your soul. Or you could bring this book to these hot springs up north. If you lay in them with this book, well, I might be able to send you back from whence you came.
This sounds like not the entire story. Is that all? I sense some kind of catch, as they say.
No, I When I first stumbled upon the price of beauty, I thought about giving it to Candlekeep in earnest. But when my sisters began abusing the magic power in under the tutelage of my auntie, I realized that some books are better left, well, maybe better left chained up somewhere than being used to power such dangerous people.
If I remove the book from this realm, will it do more damage, or will it be of assistance to the souls that are trapped here?
I don't know, but it's the only way I know out.
And RZ's going to look at the pedestal with the book on it and say, do you know how I might remove it from its location?
She kind of pulls at her chain. It kind of elongates as she gets up to it, and she kind of looks over it. She reaches down. Her hands, as they get close to this tablet, are beginning to disintegrate. She grabs it and takes it off the pedestal. You see her hands begin to kind of illuminate as she hands the book to you. Take this to those hot springs. It will return you from whence you came.
I'm looking at her hands and I say, I feel obligated to mention that I am myself a healer if you require any kind of assistance for the burns that you just sustained.
She kind of looks at you over, up and down, and she said, "Do you want to heal me? Take this book back." And she gets kind of close to you, and never let my sisters find it.
It will be done. And I take the book. I look at the mirror again. I can still see my master's face. It's still that same thing.
Yep. Yes, yeah.
I say, don't worry, master. We'll be out of this soon, creator.
And it just recites chapter 2 and some beauty tips to you.
RZ just kind of nods and puts the book in the bag, recognizing that it's not really going to talk to him.
As you're kind of... So you begin trekking through the wilderness back to the hot springs. As you arrive to them, you see the visage of a person kind of sitting over the hot springs.
Do I recognize them or anything?
You tell that it is the individual in the black hood with like the full getup that you saw earlier in the room that you were studying in.
I was conjecturing as to when I would encounter you once again, he says to her as he approaches.
And she kind of chuckles and says, I was wondering the same about you. Is that our ticket?
Who are you?
Is that our ticket out? She said, pointing at the price of beauty.
Answer my question first, please. Who are you?
I'm just a simple scholar.
With no connection to this place, how did you know where to be?
Roll an insight check.
That's gonna be 15 on the dice plus 3, 18.
Yeah, that definitely feels totally weird. And she kind of looks over and says, "It was a educated guess. I couldn't rightly go to that decrepit old house down there."
I'm going to cast detect. Wait, do I have the spell slot for that? Yeah. I'm gonna cast detect evil and good.
Okay.
So, if there is an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of me, I'll know it.
There definitely is. Specifically 3 of them.
I'm going to say, It's good to see you again, my blue-haired friend, but I think it's time for me to go. And I am going right for the hot spring with the book in my hand. I'm not talking to this lady anymore. I'm not messing around.
Roll a dexterity saving throw.
12?
High or low?
What?
High or low?
I don't know what you mean.
Like heads or tails, high or low?
High.
You, Healbot 2RZ5, jump into the hot springs, and as you are fully submerged and you come up from the water, you wake up in your bed at Candlekeep, clutching the price of beauty.
I immediately walk to a window and throw the book out the window. I'm just kidding.
And that's where we're going to end the session.
Wow, what a fun adventure. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of our Candlekeep Mysteries one-on-one shot campaign. We really appreciate you sticking around to the end. And if you could, be so kind as to like this video. You made it all the way here. It's the least you can do at this point. And if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. We would love to have you as a part of the Start Adventuring community here on YouTube. And that really is the fastest and best way to help us grow here on the platform. And let us know what you thought of the adventure in the comments down below. What you liked, what you didn't like, what you thought of RZ, what you thought of the hags. Whatever you want to say, we're happy to hear from you.
Yeah. And if you guys want to go that extra mile, we do have a Patreon. All of the information will be in the description box below. And if you are one of the Adventure Starter Plus patrons, be on the lookout tomorrow for our Patreon video. That will just be an in-depth discussion, as well as our 3 lessons video that will be coming out Wednesday with the week in review. But
yes, those 3 lessons will be available to everyone watching. Yes. But if you're a patron, you will get the long-form discussion, and you'll get it early. So, yeah, check it out. Consider it.
But until then, I think that kind of does us this time. I'm Baxter.
And I'm Ben. And remember, start adventuring.
Just start adventuring.